So this month, as I'm sure you've kind of figured out, is a little different from every other month we've done so far, in that every class that we're doing kind of builds on to what we've done before. So I'm going to cover a little bit about what happened. We just started 2 days ago, so I'm going to cover a little bit about what Ben was talking to you guys about on Tuesday, and then I'll go over a little bit of what Naylene talked to you guys about on Wednesday, and then we're going to go ahead and get started. Was everybody able to print out a sheet that kind of looks like this? It was a PDF. I know the PDF looked different in the picture. Awesome. I see some of you have it. Cool. So this is kind of what we're going to be planning our story out on today. Okay. And I'm sure Ben talked to you a little bit about this, but each of us is going to start our story, our comic, from the same spot. It's called an exposition shot. So it's the shot that sets up the story. And we're all going to come up with our own stories if we can, but all of our stories are going to start from the same place. So today, what we're kind of doing is we're kind of trying to figure out what's going to happen in our story, and we're going to start kind of drawing out what happens in our story. So just to get started, while people are joining in, I'm going to switch cameras. Hi, Laura. And if you were able to print this out, that's awesome. If you weren't able to print out this sheet that has all the different, like they're called thumbnail boxes on them, then you feel free to use a blank sheet of paper and just draw in your own boxes. You don't have to have this sheet, okay? But we're all gonna start from the same place with our exposition shot. And I know that because we're Chuck Jones, we're gonna use a Chuck Jones character, but we're actually not gonna see their face yet. And I know that Ben went over it with you, but the whole shot is that the whole setup of our story for our comic is that Marvin is shooting the moon. He's standing on Mars, and he's shooting at the moon, and we don't know why. We have no idea why he's shooting at the moon. We don't know what's going to happen, but we have to either stop him somehow, or we have to figure out why he's doing this. Evie, I just saw your message about how you have your own story. If you have your own characters and you're like, Lee, I got this, I'm going to do this on my own, that's totally fine. But if you were like, this is really hard, I don't know where to start, then you could draw along with me on at least our exposition shot. And if you want to draw along with me on the whole story, that's totally fine. Or you can come up with your own solution to the story. So hi, I see a bunch of other people. So who is Narcissus? Oh, Liliana, Heather Rose. You guys can do your own story. It's totally fine if you have your own idea, okay? Laura, you think it's because the moon is cheese? Well, you read my mind, because that's kind of where I'm going with it. Exactly, like Wallace and Gromit. So I know that Ben talked about having that exposition shot of Marvin shooting the moon. And then yesterday, if you were in Naylene's class, Naylene went over coming up with a superhero character. And Naylene's superhero character, I love it. I don't think, did she have a name for him? I don't know if she did, but he was a space surfer. Do you guys know if she had a name? No, she didn't. Okay, well then we'll have to come up with a name for him, because I'm kind of using him in my story. But yeah, it's gonna be like she's gonna be Surfer Dude. Maybe it's just superhero Surfer Dude. So Surfer Dude. Okay, so superhero Surfer Dude is gonna be trying to save the day in my story. But all right, I'm gonna switch cameras, and if you're drawing along with me, then we're just gonna go ahead and and start drawing the first panel. So normally I would actually wait to start the first panel of a story, but because we're all kind of starting from the same point, just to get us a little warmed up, we're gonna go ahead and draw it in, okay? Let me switch these cameras. Oops, sorry, one sec. Okay, let me make sure that's in focus. Make sure that's zoomed in. So when a comic artist is planning out their comics, and they're planning out their story. It's called storyboarding. So that's what we're doing today. We're kind of storyboarding. And in a storyboard, these are called thumbnail sketches. And a thumbnail sketch doesn't actually have a ton of detail. It's actually like a pretty simple sketch that you're just doing to kind of get the gist of what's happening. So if you're using our story, then we know that there's going to be like a little moon that Marvin is shooting. I'm just going to draw kind of how Ben had it with like the ray gun, and all I'm doing is I'm starting with like the kind of the barrel of the ray gun. Here, I can zoom in a little bit if you want to draw along with me. And it's got like, so I'm using his, I think it's called the, I don't know, Scott, you have to help me out, like the Illuminator, like 83.
Illudium Q36 space modulator.
The Illudium Q36 space modulator. Thank you, Scott. I always forget the name. So this is his space modulator. And I'm just kind of doing like the little bars that kind of go around it. And like I said, it doesn't have to be too detailed. I'm just kind of sketching it in kind of sketchily. We have like part here, kind of comes out. And then there's maybe like a little round part, kind of comes out like that. Ooh, and then the front of it is maybe like a little sphere, a little ball. And then maybe like it has a scope so that it looks through to like help you aim. There's a little scope. And then down here is going to be the grip. So it's called grip. I don't know. Maybe his finger is over here, and we just see a peek of him. We just see his finger. Maybe we see like another finger down here. We don't even see anything more. Maybe we see like a hint of the planet. He's standing on Mars, so a hint of Mars standing over there. Maybe we see like, this is space, so I'm gonna shade it in a little bit. You don't have to draw it like I'm drawing it. I'm just, if you're stuck, I sometimes think the hardest part about art and making comics and basically any kind of art that you do is getting started. It's that staring at the blank paper moment. So I'm taking out the blank paper for you. There's some stars back in here. Yeah, okay. And here I'll write in the bottom, I'm gonna write zap, because that's the noise that it's making, his space modulator. All right, so I've kind of sketched that in. But before I do anything else, I'm actually going to maybe take out a blank sheet of paper. So if you have a blank sheet of paper too, you might want to grab it. Because before I go any farther, I kind of need to figure out what's going to happen with my story now. So, all right, so, and sometimes something that can help you with planning your story is called a story arc. And I thought that Ben was going to go over this, but maybe he didn't. Sometimes it's called a story mountain. So all I'm doing is kind of doing like a mountain. And here is like, it's almost all stories are planned this way. You have your beginning, you got your middle, you got your end. But if you're going to use comic words, this is the exposition shot. And so we already know in our exposition, Marvin is shooting at the moon. Okay, so then here, this is going to be the rising action. So what's going to happen now that we know that Marvin is, well, now that we have our exposition shot, Marvin's shooting the moon, we gotta, like, there's gonna be a response to that. We gotta figure out what's gonna happen here. The middle part, we have your, hold on, so you have your rising action, you have your conflict. So there's gotta be a conflict. It's not a true story if there's no conflict. So you have your exposition, your conflict, and then at the end you have your resolution. So how is this going to be resolved? So, and this is sometimes the hardest part of doing a comic. It's planning out the story. It's sometimes one of the hardest things to do. Whoa, I see. I'm sorry. I'm looking at all of the comments. I don't know what's going on. Oh, this is Lee. Yeah, I'm here. If anybody is confused, just ask. You feel free to ask me a question. You can raise your hand because I know that some of you might have jumped in after I got started, and that's fine. If you have any questions, just go ahead and put your hand up, and I can answer it. But right now, what we're doing is we're planning out our story. So, and like I said, if you have your own story and you're like, Lee, I got this. I have my own characters. I've been working on them. I have my own idea. You can just go ahead and start like planning out your story and doing your thumbnails for your story. This sheet only has 8. If you need more, you might need to print a couple more. I wouldn't try to go more than like 10 or so though. Try to keep it a pretty short like comic, because we're only doing we're going to try to keep these to 1 page. So, all right. So in my story, Marvin is shooting at the moon. Then I think that, so the government, I don't know what government, but the government finds out. And they find out that the moon now has 50% more craters than it did yesterday. So he's shooting at the moon, and all of a sudden now there's all these extra holes in the moon. Okay, so they have to find Surfer Dude. They have to have somebody who's our superhero, Surfer Dude. So they call Surfer Dude. They call Surfer Dude in to save the day, to help. Okay, so all right, Surfer Dude makes his way. I guess this is kind of the middle. The middle of my story is kind of like the middle part. Yeah. So Surfer Dude makes his way. He surfs the radiation waves. Makes his way surfing radiation waves to Mars. But when he gets there, as he's getting there, he realizes he forgot to bring a snack. He forgets to bring snack. And it's a long way from the Earth to Mars on those radiation waves. So this is kind of my conflict right here, is he forgets to bring a snack. All right, so when he lands on lands on Mars, he's starving. And luckily, he finds Marvin about to eat all the moon cheese. Moon cheese. So in my story, they all sit down and have a meal together. Okay, so that's my story. So Surfer Dude in my story doesn't really stop Marvin from shooting the moon. He just, he's just a laid back kind of guy. Maybe he really isn't the best superhero. All right, so that's my story. So now that I kind of have it planned out and I've thought it through, now I can get started trying to sketch out each of my thumbnails. Now, the trick of doing a really effective, good story is only trying to show one thing in each panel. I see this happen with kids all the time, is that a lot of times that the kids try to do like 2 things inside one board, inside one storyboard. So you have to figure out what is the most important thing that you want to show in that panel. So that's why I needed to map out with my story mountain the action. So, all right, so the most important thing has to be the biggest. So first of all, Marvin's shooting at the moon. Well, we don't know it's Marvin yet, but it's Marvin. Zach, so he's shooting at the moon. So, all right, so my next panel is the government is gonna find out, and they're gonna see that the moon has 50% crater. So, all right, so I'm gonna try to draw in like this little government guy, and he's gonna have, if you know anything about shape language, he's gonna have like a square rectangle head because he's like a government dude. And like I said before, these are all just sketches. They don't have to be perfect drawings. I'm keeping this really blocky, really boxy.
Lee, could you zoom in a little, please?
I can, thank you.
Thank you.
No worries. Thanks for letting me know, Scott. So I'm just kind of giving him some like government hair. He's got like a government buzz cut hair, kind of short. Maybe he's like, I'm keeping it real sketchy. There's his face. Here's his like arm. Here's like his hand. I'm not being really, maybe he's pointing at something. I'm not being really detailed. I'm just keeping it really sketchy. Maybe he has like a star in his suit. Maybe there's like a window behind him. Like this. So, all right. And you can use the lines underneath if you want to write in anything. So here's my guy. I kept him real loose. I kept him real sketchy. I'm not doing a lot of detail right now. This is just the government man. And he's going to be saying, our satellites have picked up evidence that something fishy is going on with our moon. All right, so that's it for my second panel. Our satellites have picked up evidence. Something fishy is going on with our moon. All right, so what's the most important thing? I'm gonna go back to my story map. Next thing, the fishy thing is that the moon now has 50% more craters. On the next panel, I'm gonna draw the moon in with 50% more craters. Evie, are you confused? So you're just kind of trying to sketch in thumbnails of your story. Okay, whatever story that is, okay? And you can use your, oh, she's still here, Evie? Oh, yeah, she is. So that can be a story that you already have. It can be the characters that you already use. So for the next one, the most important thing is to show that the moon has 50% more craters. So I'm just gonna start with maybe a picture of the moon. So I'm doing a big moon, and it's gonna have a lot of holes in it. And I was definitely inspired in my story by Wallace and Gromit for sure. So it's got some craters. Those are ones that you can see from the sides. And then I have some like big holes like this. Our moon is being eaten away. All right. So, but like I said, the most important thing you notice is that you only want to show one thing per panel. You're not trying to do a lot. You don't want to try to do everything in one picture. Otherwise, it gets really confusing for your viewer. The most effective comics they're really clear in their images. So whatever you're trying to show, you really, really, really want to try to zoom in on it. So here, I'm trying to really zoom in on the fact that this moon has these giant holes cut out of it, okay? So here, I can add a couple stars up here because this is space. Okay. And I can write it in if I want the words. It has 50% more craters than it did yesterday. Okay. All right. So that's what I got so far. So zap, our satellites picked up evidence that something fishy's going on with our moon. It has 50% more craters than it did yesterday. So I'm going to go back to my story map, or my story mountain. So the government finds out the moon now has 50% more craters. So now they have to call Surfer Dude in to help. All right. Maybe I'm going to write in the words first. We need the help of Surfer Dude. I don't know. We'll have to ask Nalene for to see if that's actually his name. And to be honest, so this is Nalene's character, so I haven't actually drawn Surfer Dude before, so it might be a little tricky for me because this is a different character. Okay. Okay. All right. So for this picture, I'm going to show Surfer Dude, and I'm actually not going to do a super zoomed in picture. I'm just going to do maybe like a picture from far away showing that Surfer Dude is surfing. So maybe I have like a wave coming in over here, wave coming in, and like maybe he's like his board is right here. Need to look at Nalene's image. I pulled up, she sent me a photo of her Surfer Dude, so. All right, so maybe her Surfer Dude here is, I'm just gonna she's like, I like this, when you guys should do this too with your characters. She's kind of thought out, like, what are the feelings and attributes of my character? Like, what kind of emotions does he have? What are his feelings? Like what, and so she wrote on hers that he's really laid back, he's like empathetic. And I'm just, you know what? These are so small that I think that this picture is going to be so tiny that I'm not even going to draw him like in. I'm going to actually just do like a silhouette of him. So he's kind of like, got this kind of curved back. And maybe he's got like one leg that's coming out. So he's surfing here, Surfer Dude, other legs back here. Back here. So I decided not to do too much detail. I started trying to draw him in. I was like, you know what? I don't have room for too much detail. These are really tiny pictures. These are really, really tiny. So you don't need a lot of detail in them. Maybe he's got one arm kind of coming out like this. The other arm is like coming back like that. Maybe his board here. There's some wave action going on. He's riding this wave. Some drops coming off. Like I said, not too much detail. I'm getting into too much detail territory. All right. All right, so Surfer Dude. We need the help of Surfer Dude. It's right there. All right, so Surfer Dude. What have I got next? Okay, Surfer Dude, he gets called in to help. He makes his way surfing radiation waves to Mars. So I'm assuming that in this picture, Surfer Dude's probably just wearing board shorts. Probably doesn't have a spacesuit on yet. So maybe my next picture has to be Surfer Dude in a spacesuit. Otherwise, he's never going to make it to Mars on a surfboard. All right. I know something fishy is going on with the moon. Exactly. Space sharks. That's a good idea. Space sharks. All right, so like I said, my drawing might be a little different from Nalien's because I wasn't planned on drawing her character. So we might have to have her come in and add in her images of her character. So I'm just gonna go ahead and draw in my picture of Surfer Dude with his space helmet. So all right, so he's telling me he's getting ready to surf the radiation waves. So he's got space helmet going on, maybe right up here. It's got like, I can zoom in a little bit if you need. So he's got space helmet, and he's got like his space suit. I don't know, I wonder if Surfer Dude like has a jetpack or if he just, maybe it's just like oxygen in his tank behind him. So he's got like this tank going on back here. Maybe this is like his arm is coming around over here. Oh, maybe he has like he's part of our government or whatever government this star is. So he's got like maybe a star on his armband. Okay, he's got, this is like the backpack for his jetpack. Maybe fix up this circle for his space helmet. Can start to shade in his actual helmet of his visor. But notice I zoomed in. I'm not even doing a whole picture of him. Like I said, what is the most important action in each panel? What is the most important thing that's happening in your story? Okay, that's what you need to be drawing in. Here's his arm. It's like maybe reaching around here. Got like, he's holding this, this board. I think I need to do his band a little larger, like circle, like a ring around his neck. Go. All right, maybe his board. I didn't really talk about sidekicks. Maybe his board is his sidekick. I don't know. I wonder if it talks to him. It definitely should have like a design. Maybe it has like some wave patterns. He's super chill. This dude is like, he's just a really hungry surfer dude. I don't know why the government thinks that Surfer Dude can save the day. Maybe because they're like, he's the only one who can make it to Mars on his surfboard. All right. So Surfer Dude's gonna say something. He's gonna say like, he is a surfer dude, so maybe he says like, no worries, bro. No worries, bros. I got this. I think he'll say like, I'll shoot the radiation waves. Or no, I'll shoot the radiation curl. I'll shoot the radiation curl and hang loose all the way to Mars, man. Hang loose all the way to Mars. Hang loose all the way to Mars. Cool. All right. There he is. There's our hero. Our hero of the day. I'm looking back at your comment. Sir, our satellites are picking up a 50% disturbance on the moon. 50% more craters on it. Yes, but these are different. These are going through the moon. Since the Revolutionary War. Okay. All right. So going back to my story. So, what have I got so far? Let me zoom out a little bit. So far in my story, I have the beginning. I have zap. Our satellites have picked up evidence that something fishy is going on with our moon. It has 50% more craters than it did yesterday. We need the help of Surfer Dude. No worries, bros. I got this. I'll shoot the radiation curl and hang loose all the way to Mars. All right, so the next picture is him. He's making his way to Mars on the radiation wave. Okay, so maybe he's like, maybe I'm gonna do like Earth in the background. So remember, you wanna like zoom in on what's the most important thing. So like he's I'll have to figure out a way to draw a radiation wave. I'll zoom in. So he's gonna be like this curve of a wave up here. And I gotta find a way to make it look different in this water up here. So I had a wave full of water up here, which will make, definitely when we add color and stuff, it'll look a little different. But right here, it's gonna be like on this radiation wave. It's like curling around. And he's also in a space suit. So maybe his like board is somewhere over here. Like helmet is here. Okay, he's got like, it's here. He's got maybe like his knee is coming up because he's like, imagine it'd be really hard to surf in a spacesuit. I don't know. I think that would be an easy thing to do. They seem kind of bulky. But I mean, I guess heavy duty wetsuits are kind of bulky too. So he's got like his moon boot on. I need to sharpen my pencil. He's got like, his arm is going to be like back over here. Maybe his other arm is out because he has to balance. He's got his like, got his like moon gloves on, moon boots, moon gloves. He's got like maybe patches on his moon boots. Maybe there's like a patch on his knee. Oh, like star on his thing. His back leg would be kind of back here. I don't think you'd see it very well. So, all right, I'm gonna draw this like that. And there's like, oh, you need his back, his like, his space, his oxygen. This is what's keeping him alive in outer space as he surfs. And so there's like, here's the curl of the wave. Maybe like, maybe in this wave there's like stars. I'm gonna add little stars to his wave to show it's like a totally different kind of wave. And when I add ink and color, I would definitely like probably make it really make it like really like purple and green, like the colors of like an aurora borealis, probably. Make it really like outer spacey kind of colors. I'm going to show that this part is actually space, and space is black. So I'm going to shade it in a little bit. Okay, so there we go. Nope, I can add in some of the details on his board. Okay. No, this is like a planet, so I need some like planetary features. Oh, maybe this radiation wave is curving in front of the, yeah, it's curving in front of the planet like that. And this is maybe the ocean. Color the ocean in, just for contrast. Okay, we have Surfer Dude. What would Surfer Dude say? Some like Surfer Dude lines. Rad, hang 10. What about gnarly? Yeah, he's saying gnarly. Gnarly. Comma, but I wish I'd brought some snacks. Oops. I wish I'd brought some snacks. All right, so that's what he's saying. Cool. All right. If you're a real good surfer, you'll be fine, but you have to figure out not to float away from your surfboard. It's true. How does he have to stay tethered to his surfboard somehow? I don't know how that's going to happen. Okay. So, all right. He makes his way surfing radiation waves to Mars. He forgets to bring a snack. So next up, he lands on Mars, but by the time he gets there, he's starving. Okay. So I gotta show him like landing on Mars. So this one I'm gonna do, he's off his board. Maybe his board is like standing up next to him over here. He's like hanging out over here, holding his board. Maybe he's like doing I don't even know what's the name of this. Why am I forgetting the names of things? That hand motion. All right, so he's got like his hand around his board. It's okay. I'm not doing any details like I'm not really doing any details like fingers or anything. Don't worry about any of those yet. You're literally just drawing in the details. You're just kind of getting your story across. That's the most important thing you can do today, is to kind of solidify what your story might be. I'm going to emphasize this because there we go. There he is. He's hanging 10. He's got his helmet still on because, of course, there's no oxygen on Mars. So he needs to keep his helmet on. Okay. He's got his pack on, just back here. There we go. All right, and maybe this picture that I just drew, because where he is right now is the same place. He's on Mars. So I'm going back to that first drawing I did because I want to make sure it looks kind of similar because he's just landed on Mars. So maybe I add in that same curve from Mars back here. Maybe I add in that little moon in the background. I'm going to try to shade it the same way I did before. The same stars and everything because I want it to look similar. And when I add in color, it can be super helpful because Mars I would probably do is, it's the red planet. So I'd probably add in all of the red would help be another color clue. And add in some of the details like the waves on his board. Maybe he's saying, perfect 10, epic ride. Perfect. Perfect 10, epic ride, man. Epic ride. Boy, I could crush a poke bowl right now. Is that what would a surfer eat? A poke bowl? Some mahi tacos? I could crush some mahi tacos and a poke bowl right about now. Okay. All right. All right, so our surfer dude's landed. He's made his way to Mars. He's now here. Add in the same stars. Okay. And now he has to encounter our villain, who is Marvin. So, all right, so maybe Marvin is sitting at a table, about to eat. So here's Marvin's table. I can zoom in a little bit. So I'm going to draw in Marvin. So Marvin, I always start with the circle, the sphere of his head, and then I add in his helmet. It's like gladiator brush. Oh, I need to sharpen my pencil. Here's his brush. I'm going outside of the page a little bit, but that's okay, because when we, like I said, these are just thumbnails. When we do this in real life, our panels will be a lot bigger. Here we go. He's got like the sides coming out of his helmet. And his face is colored in. He's sitting at the table. Here's his his neck. Maybe he's got like, maybe he's holding a fork and a knife. So he's got like his arms coming around over here. He's got like a fork in one hand, a knife in the other. And maybe on the table is like a wedge of cheese. Put some holes in it. Let's add some craters in this. Swiss cheese, because isn't the moon Swiss cheese? I think it has to be Swiss cheese. Okay, so Marvin's saying, I couldn't help overhearing. Would you like some moon cheese instead? I couldn't help overhearing. Would you like some moon cheese instead? All right, so that's Marvin. And then, okay, let's go back and look at my thing. So he lands on Mars. He finds out Marvin, he lands on Mars. He finds Marvin about to eat all the moon cheese. And then I think maybe I need one more panel saying where a surfer dude's calling back to like government man, saying don't worry, there's nothing fishy going on at all on Mars. it's just cheesy. So I probably need one more panel. So maybe I'm just gonna flip it over and do it on the back of my own drawing. And then I'd love to see some of your drawings, guys. In fact, oh, you know what? I'm actually gonna hold off on doing this last panel because I realize there's only 15 minutes left, and I would love to see what you guys came up with, or some of your drawings. So my last panel is gonna be surfer dude calling back to the government and saying, there's nothing fishy up here, sir, just cheese. Just cheesy. But does anybody want to share what they've done? I'd love to see.
Gloria.
Yeah, let's see. Let's see, girls. How are you? What did you do? Wow. Oh my goodness. Wait, you got to walk me through this story.
What happened in your story? You don't know. So she basically did your flat, but her superhero is an ice cream girl. I don't know.
Ooh, nice. Ice cream girl. Awesome. So Ice Cream Girl, does Ice Cream Girl go to save, is the moon also cheese in yours?
Ice cream?
So Ice Cream, how does Ice Cream Girl make it to the Mars?
Ooh, she's riding
She rides in her own spaceship, a rocket ship.
It's made out of ice cream.
It's made out of ice cream? Well, it's a good thing the space is cold because it won't melt. All right. Is that what she eats? So what's going to happen? What's going to happen next?
What's her superpower?
Ice cream.
She can turn things into ice cream.
Is she going to turn Marvin into ice cream? She is. I love it. I love it. That's awesome. Nice job. I also love that you girls all work together, so you even have like colors and stuff. You're so fast. I can't wait to see the rest. Face. Does anybody else want to share? I'm so curious to see what else other people have made. It doesn't have to be done by a long shot. An hour is a really long time to plan out an entire, however many panel comic. So yeah, Tater Tot, let's see. Whoa.
I didn't do Marvin the Martian, but I did like my own characters, Ralph the monster dog, and some random other guy that still doesn't have a name. So
nice.
yeah.
I can tell, like, just from looking at these panels that you're really focusing in on one thing per panel. And I also love how you've like totally zoomed in for some of these panels. Tell us the story. Walk us through
So
it.
we got Mr. Unnamed over here just casually walking through the forest, and he trips on Ralph. He just kind of sleeps for a bit because it's kids friendly. And then Ralph wakes up and he's like, what the heck is this? The other unnamed guy wakes up, sees Ralph, and screams because he's scared. He doesn't know what it is.
Wait, so what is Ralph? He kind of looks like a
He's a monster dog of some sort. He's kind of like a sheep, I guess.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it kind of looks like a duck sheep or something, like a weird combination of animals. I love it. So what's gonna happen?
Basically the rest of the story is gonna be unnamed guy grabs Ralph, takes him home, and then boom, he has a pet now. Yay.
That's awesome. I love it. I love it.
Thank you.
Evie likes those faces. she wants you to teach her the art of drawing people who faceplant. All right. Does anybody else want to share what they've got so far? It can just be one picture. It doesn't have to be like the whole comic or the whole like a bunch of thumbnails. If you just want to share one part of one thing, that's totally fine. Yeah, Nathaniel.
I think I'm really proud of mine.
Awesome. Cool. So talk us through it.
So I did this last time. So Marvin is trying to explode the moon, and Super Bingo is saying, "Hey, what's up, man?" And Marvin's like, okay, hi." And then Marvin says, "What a weird earth creature." And then there's a dog that tries to eat him. But then he says, "Uh-oh." And then he points at the moon and says, "No dog can stop me." And then the moon explodes.
Can you do us a favor, Nathaniel? Can you hold it up close to the camera so we can see some of the details in these? Because your drawings are awesome. Oh my gosh, I love this dog. Boom. This is great. This is really, really good. Nice job. Really nice work. Nice
Thank you.
thumbnails. Yeah. Awesome. Oh yeah, no worries, Victoria. If you guys have to go, I'll see you next time. And I see Kat has her hand up. Kat, you want to share? You have to put your video on to share though. No. Hopefully she can hear us. Well, if anybody else wants to share in the meantime, you're more than welcome to. Oh, awesome. I'm glad you had fun, Sylvia. I hope it was a little tricky. So I was trying to say that like every class kind of builds on. So if you come back we have classes next Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, where we'll be kind of taking what we did here, now that we kind of might have a bit of a story. And that's totally fine. You don't have to share anything. But we're going to be learning other skills that are related to comics. So like the art of inking a comic, the art of like going deeper into our characters and adding more details to them. So, but today was all about just kind of the broad overview. Awesome. Kat,
is here.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so I don't have a lot, but this is what I have so far.
Tell us.
It's just the opening first scene of my cartoon.
So tell us what's happening in the opening scene.
So it's basically just an overview of the first environment. And so it's like a garden and a bush.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's a tiny little, probably can't see it 'cause it's so light, there's a little cocoon. When the next page zooms in,
There's a cocoon. So you're in like this garden and there's a cocoon. What's going to happen? Something going to hatch out of this cocoon?
my butterfly girl character that I've had for months, but still
That's
haven't
awesome.
seen yet.
Okay. So she's going to hatch out of the cocoon. Is there going to be like, what's the conflict going to, like, is there something that's going to try to eat her?
No, I have, it's not necessarily something that's going to eat her. There's bad guy characters, and basically it's like people trying to capture butterflies.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
She's
so there's
gonna
like,
get away.
so there's like somebody with like a butterfly net trying to capture her and she has to like escape?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. That's awesome. All right. I can't wait to see. Nice. I like your story. Thanks for sharing, Kat. All right. Liliana, Heather Rose, do you girls want to share?
Heather didn't do anything, but here's mine.
Awesome. Let's see. So it's a little tricky to see with thumbnails are so small, they're hard to share. So you'll have to talk us through it. Tell us what's happening in this comic.
What's happening is something's been walking through the forest and like burning up everything that it steps on. So a rabbit finds the footprints and it runs off to go and tell the hero. His name is Floan. So Floan goes off and follows the footprints, reaches a castle. There's a monster inside. And Floan goes in and speaks with the monster. And it turns out the monster's actually quite nice. It's just his body temperature changes with his emotions, so he was very upset while he was walking through. He goes back with Phone. He helps fix what he burned and all that. So Forest is fine now, and Phone's made a new friend.
Oh,
Yeah.
I love it. That's a really sweet story. So he turns into flame when he gets really angry.
Yeah.
I love it. That's a really sweet story. Thanks for sharing. That's a great one. I love that you guys came up with such creative, like, individual stories. Oh, yeah, no worries, Steve. I'm glad you could pop in. Oh, maybe he already left. Just talking to the... All right. I think that's everybody. Did anybody not get a chance to share that wanted to? I think maybe Laura. I don't know if you only have to share if you want to. But like I said, I know that today was a lot. It was a lot of stuff. And today was a tricky day too. I know that it's the one of the hardest things is to try to get your story straight and to try to get like the arc of the story and find out what's the conflict going to be, like how are we going to solve the conflict. And that's sometimes like some of the trickiest parts. But you guys all did awesome. You all did amazing. So next week, we still have classes on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And we're going to be focusing in on the characters you guys created. So I think we'll probably be using Surfer Dude as our example. And whatever character you guys come up with, we're going to be talking about like how to add in more detail into our characters, how to ink our characters. Oh, I have to go back and look at our thing. I don't even remember what we've planned. Oh, here it is. So yeah, we're going to be talking about like doing some more gesture. Ben will be talking about gesture drawing, like using real life drawing to help with your cartooning, because if your character is a cat, I'm talking to you, Evie, character's a cat, you should be drawing lots and lots of real life cats to help you get a sense of like how they move. So that's what Ben will be doing. Naylene's going to be doing like outfitting, like so like doing some adding like the costumes for your characters and some other things that you might not have thought of yet. I'm going to be talking about like color and shading already, and then the week after that we'll be doing some more. Okay, all right. Well, I know it's a little early. We finished a little early today, but you guys all did awesome. I hope you have a great weekend, and hopefully we'll see you guys all back next week, because these classes do build on each other. So if you can, try to come back. Okay, bye. It's good to see you guys.
Bye.
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 Great work.